Oh, say when. I get it. Hey there, my fellow YouTubians. I'm at my friend's Nicole's place right now, and I just come from watching another movie in my consecutive contest. This morning I watched My Neighbor Totoro, which, as it turns out, is not a Spanish film, but actually a Japanese animated film by Hayao Miyazaki, who's done quite a lot of very well regarded Japanese animated movies over the years. Kiki's Delivery Service was one of his early ones. He did Princess Mononoke, he did Howl's Moving Castle, and Ponyo was the one that came out last December. I've seen Spirited Away in the theater of that bunch, and that one's a very spectacular movie. This one is definitely more of a kid's movie. The plot involves a couple of sisters who move with their father to a very rural neighborhood in Japan. He is a university professor, their mom is in the hospital, and they are basically just sort of running around exploring their neighborhood and meeting people in their new environment. And one of the things they come across is a spirit named Totoro, or Totoro I thought was how it's pronounced, but it's actually Totoro. And in Japan, spirits aren't just ghosts, they are kind of mythical creatures that have special abilities. And so this spirit aids them in planting a garden. There's a whole bunch of different things involving just sort of exploring the other world and there isn't really a whole lot going on in this movie, to be honest. Mostly it just involves them trying to stay out of the rain and just sort of obviously getting to know the people who they're living with now. And they're a little concerned with their mom because she's been in the hospital for a while and they're not sure when she's going to be getting out. But like I said, this is not a lot of danger in this movie. It's pretty much a kid's movie. And so while I enjoyed it and thought the animation was really great, sitting through it a second time was a little difficult. In fact, I had to take a break and take a shower just because just to wake myself up, really, because there just isn't a whole lot going on in the movie itself. So I can't, although I enjoy the movie and I'd say it's a great kids movie, I wouldn't recommend seeing it twice in a row. And I wouldn't see it if you're interested in something with a really complex plot, because the plot of this movie is actually quite simple. So I have 3 left to go, and I should be able to do all of them. As it turns out, Left for Dead is a horror movie, an English horror movie, I believe. Then I have Unaccompanied Minors, which is a live-action children's movie, and of course the classic 80s comedy Revenge of the Nerds. And I'll be taking care of them in the next week and a half or so. Now, let's see. The year I'd like to talk about right now is 1996. And that was the year that aliens arrived on Earth and blew up entire cities and decimated the population in Independence Day, which is not a particularly good movie. Also, one of my least favorite movies of all time, The Rock, came out that year. Let's see. Who won Best Actor? It might have been Jeffrey Rush, I think. Jeffrey Rush for Shine. I believe that's who won it that year. I don't recall exactly. It's not like I looked it up. However, Best Actress went to Susan Sarandon for Dead Man Walking, which was directed by Tim Robbins. And I think the two of them actually just separated recently, which is very disappointing. But, Susan Sarandon, that's a really terrific movie. It's number 3 on my favorites for that year. My number 5 was Ransom, one of the only Mel Gibson movies that I really liked. His son is kidnapped. Rene Russo, who is also his girlfriend in Lethal Weapon 3 and 4, is his wife in this movie. And Gary Sinise is the kidnapper. It's a really, really intense movie. A lot of good actors in it, and just an exciting, flat-out good thriller. Ron Howard was the director, and it's one of the more badass movies that Ron Howard has made. My number 4 movie that year was Citizen Ruth, which is a dark comedy by Alexander Payne, who went on to do Election and Sideways and About Schmidt, and he's got another movie with George Clooney coming out called The Descendants. And this is a dark comedy about a woman who has had a long-time drug addiction, and when she's ordered by the court to terminate her latest pregnancy because the baby's not going to come out well, seeing as how she's always huffing glue all the time, a pro-life group offers to take care of the baby for her, and then some pro-choice people are like, oh, wait a minute, if she wants to have an abortion, she should have the right to do that. And so these groups are fighting each other. Here's the movie in which people on both sides of the debate, and in fact everywhere, look like total idiots. It's a really funny comedy. And they basically just treat the character of Laura Dern's character Ruth as kind of a a pawn or a symbol, to do with as they please. Really, really terrific movie. My number 2 favorite movie of that year was Fargo by the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan. And it's, of course, about William H. Macy's character hiring a couple guys to pretend to kidnap his wife so that he can get his father-in-law to pay the ransom so he'll have money. And, of course, Frances McDormand won Best Actress that year. What am I thinking of? Why did I say Susan? Oh, actually, Susan Sarandon won Best Actress the previous year, because technically Dead Man Walking is a 1995 movie, but it didn't come out in Chicago until 96, so that's why it's on my 96 list. Marge Gunderson, that's the character from Fargo. Frances McDormand won Best Actress that year in Fargo. And that's a terrific movie, of course. And my number 1 favorite movie of the year, also technically a 1995 movie, because it came out at the very end, but it didn't come out until January in Chicago. And that is, of course, the Terry Gilliam time travel thriller 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, and Brad Pitt. One of the best time travel movies ever made. Really, really terrific, and also so moving. The end makes me cry every single time I see it. Every time I think about it in depth. It's a fantastic movie. I love it. Just enjoying the day here. Today is Tuesday, right? So tomorrow, Wednesday, another video, and we'll look at 97 and just continue on from there. So thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.